Hi, Aaron Anastasia here from Superior Singing Method, and I'm kicking off a new series of videos. It's going to be about a 9-week series, about 9 videos. I'll release one a week, and it's the psychology of being a singer. Now, this is a little different than anything I've ever done. It's not just like tips and tricks and techniques and vocal exercises. All that stuff is great, and you can click the link below and you can find a 15-20 minute video about that, and of course my course and all my other stuff. But this is going to be unique. This is like nothing I've ever done before. This is the psychology of what it is to be a singer, what it takes to actually become a singer, and the psychology behind that. I think this is going to be extremely valuable, and it may sound a little weird to you right now, but if you'll just bear with me, I think you'll get the real value of this. So this first video I'm just calling all in, and I want to explain a little bit about what this principle of all in means. I want to start with a story. When I was, I was probably about 9 years old, and my parents used to take me to this community pool, and it had a low dive and a high dive. And of course, I'd do the low dive and swim around with all the other kids, but I was always really afraid of the high dive. So I remember one day I got up the courage and I climbed up that high dive, and looking down, and it seemed super scary to me at the time. My heart's racing, and I get up there on the high dive, and it's that moment of like, am I going to be in or not? Am I going to do this? Am I going to crawl back down? What am I going to look like? And just all the thoughts that are going through my head of like, I'm not quite all in. This is something I really want, but I'm not quite all in yet. And so, finally, of course, I eventually jumped and free fell and free fell and free fell and landed in that pool. Okay, so this is the analogy I just want to talk about as I walk through a few things. I was not all in for that jump, for that dream that I had of jumping off the high dive, until I actually jumped off the high dive. Okay, and I want to use this as an analogy for this idea of this all-inness of what it takes, because to be a singer, what it takes is being all in. What it takes is making a decision of being all in. And I'll come back to the diving thing. Let's talk about this idea of like a decision versus like a hope and a dream. I'm sure you have a hope and you have a dream and you have a desire to be a singer. Now, hoping and dreams and desires, to me, and don't take this the wrong way, but those are like the musings of like a victim mindset. And bear with me for a second here. But when we hope for something and we really want something, and as Disney says, when we wish upon a star, all that stuff is total inaction, and it's never going to get us anywhere except completely stuck exactly where we're at. The thing that's going to get us to become a singer is action. And that's why I say it's a decision versus a hope and a dream and a desire. Turning that dream into, okay, what is my first step? Okay? And the one thing we're going to talk about is how. In a later video, I'm going to talk about how, but one thing that really stops us a lot of times, how am I going to do this? Or what am I going to do? Or what if I fail? And those are a lot of things that we're going to talk about. All this kind of centers around when am I all in and when am I not all in? Because we can only accomplish the goals we want in life. Singing for sure, but really anything. If you want to create more wealth, if you want better relationships, anything, just this idea of being all in and making a choice and moving forward. The idea of looking for a way until you find a way versus like, oh, I tried this and I tried that and it didn't really work out. So we're going to talk more about that, but the idea of the decision is a commitment that you make today. Like, I'm going to make a commitment toward a very specific goal. And the idea of like, my goal is, and the more specific and granular you can make this goal, the better. So I'm going to sing karaoke 3 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now, whatever it is. Like, what is the specific goal? Or I've got this gig, or I've got a family thing, or whatever. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm going to sing Madison Square Garden, whatever it is. This is my specific goal. This is the decision that I'm making, and I'm moving forward into that. Okay, so that's just a little tiny snapshot of the kinds of things we're going to talk about. So when I was on that high dive, I wasn't all in until I was free falling. And when I was free falling, I wasn't thinking about how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What if I fail? What are others going to think? I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just doing the thing, and the thing was just falling and arms flapping, and I was figuring it out as I was falling and falling into that water. And that's what it takes to be a singer. That's what it takes to be successful in anything is moving forward, making a decision, making a commitment, and figuring it out as you go in that all-in state. And what's crazy about the all-in thing is that we're all in with so many things in our life. Just think about when I decide to drive to the store and get some groceries, I'm all in. The only thing that can hold me back from getting those groceries is before I leave, of like, oh, maybe I'll do this or maybe I'll do that. But as soon as I decide to go, I just grab my keys, I get in my car, I drive there, I get to the store, I buy some. I'm not thinking about, oh, how am I going to do this, or what's it going to take, or what people are going to think. I'm not thinking about any of that. There's so many things like that in our life that we're in this all-in state, but for like stupid things that don't matter to us, grocery shopping, get bread, whatever, we're in the all-in state all the time. But in things that really matter, we like hesitate to get in that all-in state where accomplishing those things would really, really matter, and we would attain the goals that we really, really want in life. So that's kind of some of the stuff we're going to talk about. It's just kind of scratching the surface on this series that I want to talk about of what does it take to be a singer? What is the being that I have to be? How do I have to show up in order to do this, aside from just techniques and exercise? You can get all that from my course, and this isn't about, probably most of you have my course. It's not about that. The how-to you could figure out with a simple Google search and all the information I have. But who do I have to be? How do I have to be different than I've been before that is going to make me accomplish this goal? Okay. One thing I like to say, I'd say to myself, and I want to say to you, is that believe in your bigness. There's more in you than you realize. Believe in your bigness. There's more in you than you realize. Really try to absorb that. The idea of like, there's more, all the self-critical stuff that you have, that's not the reality of what's going on. There's more in you than you realize. Believe in that bigness. So that's all for this one. Click the link here if you want. I've got all the techniques. I've got my favorite exercise and a lot of all the other kind of techniquey stuff. If you click there, and there's lots of other really good content in that direction. So click that or the link below. And also a couple other things is that subscribe to the channel, because then you'll know when the next video is coming. Like I said, it'll be like 9 weeks. And the other thing is I would love for you to comment, and here's why. Not just because, oh, I got to get more comments. It's not about that. For me, I'm actually writing a book about the psychology of being a singer, and I wanted to tell you guys first because I want you to be a part of this book. I want you to comment and tell me the things what you thought about this content and the content of all the videos. If you have any questions or just any of your thoughts that will help me know exactly what it is that you want, because I want to write this book for you. What is it that you want that's going to help you the most? And I'll read all those comments. I'll take them very seriously. We'll respond to those comments. So please leave me a comment to be a part of this book. And of course, when the book comes out, I will definitely let you know. So thanks for that. Thanks for sticking around for this video, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the second installment of The Psychology of Being a Singer.